Hello, let's do the New York Times Hard Sudoku for April 10th, 2024. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started right now. Okay, we're going to look for repeats up here first. The 8 and the 4 both repeat, so we have these two 8s looking in, this 8 looks in. That places the 8 in this box, because there's only one place in the box for an 8, and the box needs an 8. So that's where it goes. We also have two 4s looking into here, and this 4 looks up, places the 4. Very nice. We don't really need to follow up on these yet because we haven't scanned the rest of the bands yet. So I'm just going to focus on this top band right now. So no repeat for the 3. We also have this 1, 8, 4, 9. So 1 and 9. Okay, we have two 1s looking in. That places the 1 in this box. So I think we can get a lot out of this band. Okay, so I'm looking at this 1, 4, 8, and I'm looking for anything here that's not already in the box. So 1, 4, 8 doesn't count, but we have the 6 and the 9. So the 6 looks in, putting a 6 in one of these two cells. And that does what's called pointing, because within this box, we have limited the 6 to these two cells exactly. It's going to end up in this cell or this cell, one of those two options. There's no third option. Both of those options put a 6 in row 1 over here. Row 1 only gets a single 6. It has exactly one 6 in it by Sudoku rules. So that means we can't have a 6 anywhere else in the row. So we kind of say that these point at the rest of the row and say no more 6s. So this can't be a 6, importantly, and this 6 looks in. And so their 6 is limited to these 3 cells here in this box. Similarly, the 9 looks in. It puts a 9 down here. That points right. This 9 looks in, putting a 9 in one of these two cells. Okay, what else can we do here? I want to look at this box and just see what digits are remaining. When there's 4 or fewer left in a box, it's always good just to think about it. You'll often reveal something interesting. So we need the 2, 3, 5, and 9. So we know that this cell is not 2, 3, or 9. So of 2, 3, 5, 9, it can only be 5, and it needs to have a value. You can't leave it blank. And it sees every single digit except 5. Just to go through, it sees 1, it sees 2, 3, 4. It does not see 5. It sees 6, 7, 8, and 9. So in its row, column, and box, it has covered every digit except for 5. And since it needs a value, the only value available for it is 5. That's called naked single. When we placed this, I believe it was this 8, and this 1, and this 4, those were called hidden singles, because the box needed that digit and there was only one place for it. This is called a naked single because the cell needs a digit and there was only one digit left. And so that leaves 2, 3, and 9 for the rest of this box. And I'm just going to fill that as center marks. This 2 says this can't be 2. And we have these pointing 9s. We have these 9s corner marked here, which remind us that this can't be a 9. These center marks are just telling us that this cell is going to be a 2 or a 3. Those are the only two choices. Once it's down to one choice, it will be that value. And then the corner marks are telling us that within this box, for example, the 6 is limited to these two cells within the box. Corner marks are for boxes. Center marks are for cells. This row is down to 3 digits, so let's think about that. We need a 2, 6, 7. So look at our pointing 6s here, or if you prefer, these 6s in this box are telling us 6s here. That means this can't be a 6. Here, recall. That's why we cornered them here. And it also can't be a 2. So if it's not 2 or 6, there is only one value left that it can be, which is 7. So this is a naked single 7. Because the cell needs a value and its only value left is 7. It sees every other digit. Let's look at that. It sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It sees the 6 through the pointing 6s here. That's how we found that. Or if you prefer, the claiming 6s here. So it sees that 6. Whichever one of these cells the 6 ends up in, it sees that one. And it sees 8 and 9. So the only digit it can be is 7. So it is. And that leaves just 2, 6 over here. So we'll just fill 2, 6. I don't need these corner marks anymore because this 2, 6 pair is telling us that much and more. Because a 2, 6 pair is already going to be eliminating 6 from the rest of the box. This is going to be a triple that involves a 9, so I don't need the corner 9s anymore. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we need 5. Oops, meant to center mark. We need 5, 7, and 9 here. So this 5 looks up, this 7 looks up. And so these are the possible digits. We have a 5, 7, 9 triple here. And that leaves a 2, 3 pair here. This is 2 or 3. And let's think about this at least. It's 2, 3, 5, 6. I mean, this sees a 5, this sees a 2. I'll fill them just because this band is, it can't really get that much more cluttered because it's already almost done. So I think it's helpful to just finish a little bit faster later by at least filling 2, 3, 6 here and 3, 5, 6 here. This is any of 2, 3, 5, 6, so I don't really feel like marking it. We'll get back to that later. So I think that's all we're getting out of this band, but that was quite a lot. So let's move on to the next band here. We have duplicated 2s. It's a 2 in one of these 2 cells. We have duplicated, we have all of our 4s. I don't see the 3 doing anything. We got the duplicated 2s already. Okay, so that's all our duplicates. I'm going to look to see if there's anything else of note here. I'm not really seeing anything of note. There's not much going on in this band. So let's move on to the next one. I think we're going to get a lot out of the vertical, but let's use our normal methods here. So 2 1s puts a 1 down here. This is almost done anyway. There's not much to see. So we just have to compare these boxes because this box is empty, right? So the 1's the only repeat. This 1 7. I don't see anything. 1 5 7. Actually, yeah. So let me put that in green so I don't have to keep it highlighted. So these green cells, 1, 5, and 7. This is what some might call the New York Times trick. It's a good enough name for it. Really what we're finding is a hidden triple. So let's think about this for a second. This column, I'm going to make that column purple. Column 3 is purple. The purple cells have one of each of 1 to 9 because it's a single column. That's what Sudoku tells us. We're going to have 1 through 9 once each. So we're going to have a 1, 5, and 7 somewhere in purple. Let's talk about where they're not. They can't repeat in this box. None of these cells can be 1, 5, or 7 because there's already a 1, 5, and 7 in the box. And that's why we're looking at this in the first place. So we can remove those from purple. Purple still has 1, 5, and 7 in it because they couldn't have been here. So we haven't removed 1, 5, or 7. If I remove the 3 and the 4, I still haven't removed 1, 5, 7. And if I remove this 2, 6, remember this cell, it can't be 1, 5, or 7. So if I remove it from purple, I still haven't removed 1, 5, and 7, right? So we're basically looking for in this column, where can 1, 5, and 7 be? And we are left with just these purple cells. Now this cell can't be 1, that's not a problem. This cell can't be 5, that's not a problem. But we know that we're squeezing 1, 5, and 7 into this column, only into the purple cells. And there are only 3 purple cells. So I have to use all 3 cells for the 1, 5, and 7. I can't use them for anything else. For example, if I tried to put a 9 here, 9 is not 1, 5, 7. I would remove it from purple, and now I'd have to squeeze 1, 5, and 7 into 2 cells. That is not going to happen. 3 is the minimum number of cells for 3 digits, right? Because you can't put 2 digits in the same cell. Therefore, this is not a 9. And the rest of these are also only from 1, 5, 7. They can't be anything else. And so the 1, 5, 7 in green end up as these 1, 5, 7 in purple in some order. We don't know what order, but in some order. So that's very handy. So whatever we thought could go in these cells, actually it's only 1, 5, and 7. So we removed the 9 from here, for example. And so now what did we remove? Well, it's whatever's left in the column, right? So in the column we need, if we don't count the 1, 5, 7, we need a 2, not 3, 4, 5. We need 2, 6, 8, and 9. And notice this cell can only be 2, 6. It can't be the 8, 9. So that means 8 and 9 are down here only in this column. And the whole column, all these cells in general are 2, 6, 8, 9. This sees a 6. This is 2, 8, 9. This sees a 2. So this is 6, 8, 9. This could be any of them. But the important thing is because the 8, 9 are here, that does what's called claiming. Because in this column, the 8, 9 are down here only because of our 1, 5, 7 hidden triple. And if they're down here, no matter where the 8, 9 end up, they're going to end up in this box, in box 7. And they're going to end up in this column, which means we can't put 8s or 9s here anymore. So if these are not 8 or 9, first of all, the question we could ask is what can they be? But we can also ask where do 8 and 9 go in their respective columns? So for example, the 8 is in this column can only go here, one of these 2 cells. The 9 is a bit more free in both columns. This column already has an 8. So we can think about this box real quick because these aren't 8, 9. So the box needs 2, 3, 4, 6. 4 digits, right? Because it's going to be the 2, 6 that isn't involved in this 8, 9, along with 3 and 4. But this can't be 3, 4. So what can this be? It's going to be the 2, this cell is going to be the 2, 6 that isn't over here. Which is kind of interesting. So let's show that. This can't be 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, and then it can't be 8, 9 because of the 8, 9's over here. So this is only 2, 6, and it's not 6 either. So actually, it's only 2. This is a naked single 2. It's not 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's not 8, 9 because the 8, 9's over here. So this can only be 2. It's a naked single 2. That's going to do quite a bit because now this column needs a 2, and it can't be down here, and it's not in the 1, 5, 7 hidden triple, so this ends up the 2 for the column. I did say that whatever 2, 6 wasn't here, this one would end up here, and it was accurate. It's logical. So we can finish this 2, 6 up here. Also, we've just removed a corner mark 2 from this box. There's now only 1 2 corner marked in the box. That immediately tells us it's a hidden single 2. It's the only place in the box for a 2. And now when we place that 2, we used up an 8 corner mark. And that's telling us that there's only 1 place in the box for 8 now, because we only have 1 8 corner mark left. So we can place the 8 as well. We're definitely going to follow up on all this stuff, but let's do that in a good order here. I'm noticing this column is down to 3 digits, so I want to at least think about it. We need a, what do we need? 6, 7, 9. Okay, I'm just going to fill that, 6, 7, 9. And the 6 is in one of these two for the column. Okay, so I got this 2, 6. So yeah, we know that this is a 6, 8, 9 triple just for the column. So we don't need these corner marks anymore. This is going to be a pair for the rest of the box. We need a 3 and a 4. That's kind of what we were saying, right? We had the 2, 6 that wasn't here, plus the 3, 4. That was these 3 cells. And the 2, 6 that's not here ended up being the 2. And then that means the remaining cells are 3, 4. The rest of this column needs 5 and 9, and this cell can't be 5, so it's the 9. So that's 9 and 5. That finishes this triple. It also doesn't quite finish the box, but we're left with a 6, 7 pair. Very nice. So we just got a lot out of this stack. We also just finished this box up here. All right, I'm not going to look over here yet because I don't think there's much, but let's rescan this band because we just got a bunch of digits. Remember, it was fairly empty before, and now this box is almost full. So we're going to find buddies for most of these, if not all of these digits. 2s are done. 4s are done. 5 has a buddy. That looks into here. This 5 looks down. So 5's in one of these two now. 8 has a buddy. This 8 looks down. So 8's in one of these two. And 4 and 2 are done. Okay. This row is down to 3 digits. So let's talk about that. We need 3, 6, and 7. This cell can't be 6 or 7. So it can only be 3. That's our 3. 6, 7 is left, but this 7 tells us the 6 goes here and the 7 goes there. This is not 6. That does remove a 6 corner mark, but keep in mind there are still 2 6s left in the box, so we can't place it yet. Okay. I think doing the verticals will be more fruitful than trying to eke out more from this. We could probably eke out more from this band, but I think we can get a lot out of this vertical. First thing I'm going to do is look at this column here, because we only need 3 digits left. We need the 1, 8, and 9. I'm just going to fill that. I only see this 8. So 1, 8, 9. That's not 8. Oh, we also have the 1 in the box, which I missed. Okay, let's look for repeats here in this column now. So the 1s are accounted for. The 1 is in one of these 2 cells. Let's start here, 1, 2, and 6. So the 2 ends up here. We already kind of knew that, but let's mark it. And then the 6, here we go. This is going to be very helpful. So these 2 6s look into this box. 7 and 4 are indeed not 6. So that places a 6 here. And we're going to keep in mind that a 5 and an 8 corner mark got removed when we placed that 6. Let's finish this 7, 6 first. But a 5 and an 8 were removed. So we got to scan for 5s and 8s. So there's only a single 5 corner mark left. So we'll make that a single. That's a hidden single. Now there's only 1 8 corner mark left. Make that a single. And now there's only 1 1 corner mark left. We can finish the whole column. This finishes the box with a 9. That finishes this whole box, 3, 2, and 9. That probably finishes this box, 5, 3. It doesn't. We end up with a 2, 6 pair. All right, spoke too soon. We can finish this band now because this is a pair and this is a pair at worst. So we need a 1. The 1 goes here in this row, and the row also needs a 9. So that finishes that. That also finishes the 1 in this box. That finishes all the 1s in the grid. Let's look at this pair here. We need a 3 and a 7. Okay. So this 3 tells us the order. That's 7. That's 3. Might as well say that this 9, clean up this 9 here, but it's not super important right now. I'm just going to focus on the columns that have the fewest open cells. So this is a pair. We need a 4 and a 7. So this 7 tells us the order. That's 4, that's 7. I'm going to do this triple. We need a 3. Let's just write it out. We need 3, 5, and 8. It's not a 5. Okay. This is a triple. We have 1, 2. We need 3, 4, and 9. Okay. This is a 3, 4 naked pair here. What is a naked pair? Because we haven't gone over it today yet. Well, if you just look, remember what our center marks meant. First of all, what do our center marks mean? It means that this cell specifically sees every digit except 3 or 4. And it's going to end up being a digit. That digit will be a 3 or a 4. It won't be any other digit because it can't be. It would violate Sudoku rules otherwise. So it's going to be a 3 or a 4. This cell also will only be a 3 or a 4. But there's something about these two cells, which is that they share a row. And because they share a row, they also won't be the same digit as each other. They can't both be 3s and they can't both be 4s because they share a row. The row only gets one of each. The row has exactly one of each. So one of them will end up, they'll end up different values. And there's only 2 choices for what different values they will have. Either this will be a 3 with this being a 4, or this will be a 4 with this being a 3. There's no other choice. 3 and 4 will get used up by these 2 cells, which means the rest of the cells in the row cannot be 3 or 4 because the row only gets a single 3 and a single 4, and they're going to end up in the green cells. So this cannot actually be 3. So we remove 3 as an option from this cell, and now you can see that it's a naked single 8. It can't be anything other than 8, and so it must be the 8. Naked single 8. And so that cleans up quite a bit here. And now this is also going to be a single because, again, the 3, 4 are gone. So the only digit it can be is a 2 for the row. And now I don't need these green anymore. So these will resolve at some point. One of them will be 3, one of them will be 4, right? And now I think we can just, this 2 looks up. This is 6 and 2. We can just finish. So this column, we need a 5 and a 6. This 6 tells us the order. That's 5, that's 6. That cleans up our 3, 5 here. 4, 3, 4, 9, 3, 8, 9. And then we need a 7 and an 8. This 8 tells us it's 7, 8, and we're done. Cool. Well, I hope that was instructive. I'm trying to really make sure I'm explaining things. I'm getting a lot of new viewers all the time. And if this is your first one you watched, I want this to be a good experience, a nice learning experience. These are intended to be walkthroughs that explain all the important techniques that you need to solve the puzzle. And the goal being that you eventually graduate and say, hey, Ranks, I still like watching your videos, but I don't actually need the instruction anymore. I'm very good at solving New York Times hard Sudokus. So I kind of always need an influx of new people because I feel like there's people who graduate away from this series. But I do post other Sudoku content if you're interested in that, including Sudoku Adventure, which is intended to, one, introduce you to Sudoku variants, which are all very interesting and can really keep Sudoku fresh for you. But also just be little bite-sized puzzles. Once you get used to Sudoku variants, I'm not saying right away this will be the case, but once you get used to it, it'll take you 5, maybe 10 minutes to solve each puzzle, sometimes less. So it's a nice thing to do, like, you know, when you wake up in the morning or just like a little quick thing while you take a break. You can do the Sudoku Adventure, and there's a new one every single day, a new handcrafted Sudoku variant 6x6 puzzle created specifically for the series and only published through the series. So every day you will be guaranteed to have a new puzzle you haven't seen before that'll have something interesting about it, but won't take you a huge time investment like some of these larger variants might. So check out that series if you haven't. My New York Times hard Sudoku series it tends to be much more popular than the Sudoku Adventure series, but I really feel like the Sudoku Adventure series could use some love. We've been doing it for over a year every single day. And so there's a lot of backlog of puzzles for you to go through if you want to do that too. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, then why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.